Hello, friends, and welcome to the show. Hey, I'm your host, Joe, and truly, these conversations are the best part of my every week. Today, we are really honored be joined by a transformational leader, and I'll let him tell part of that story. Who's living proof that education can kind of come full circle, and we're going to use that as a theme and a symbol today. This circle thing, from student to faculty to travel manager to the prez, the prez. He's an Anishinaabe educator, recent PhD graduate, and the proud third president of Michigan's first tribally controlled college. Please welcome Dr. Dwayne Bedell, president of Bay Mills Community College. Thanks for joining us on the show, Dwayne.
Hi, good morning, Dr. Hill. It's a pleasure to be here, and thanks for the invitation to join this show. I was looking forward to this since the moment that we had our initial email exchange and conversation about it.
Absolutely. And you are in a very unique and a very special place. If we could draw that camera a little bit closer to that back window, I think I've said oftentimes when I get to a campus, I'll tell the president, I think now I have arrived at the most beautiful campus on the face of the planet. Um, you are right on the shore of Lake Superior. Why? Uh, Correct?
Yes, that is. Yes.
Yeah, the reason why I know that, just a real quick uh, connection story. Back in 2013, I took off on what I called the persuasion tour. Personally, and I'm just going to be real vulnerable. I was disillusioned with public education. I was stepping out of the superintendency in 2013, going, the system is broken. The system is broken, and I don't know if I can spend another 20 years in a broken system. So I hopped on my bicycle and I left Duluth, Minnesota, and I decided which direction am I going to go, South Shore or North Shore? And I think I checked the wind. That was my decision making process. Checked the wind, and uh, I took the northern route, and eventually landed in Bay Mills, Michigan. And I think I was really hungry, and I saw this campus, and there was a picnic table there, and I had a sandwich right on your campus, and I'm sure I took a nice long snooze on your grounds, and your security people didn't mind at all. They didn't bug me. That wow. I mean, just so real would be the word that I would bring to mind. How in the world did you get so lucky?
That is the question to be asked. I am fortunate enough to be able to work in a wonderful community that I call home. And being able to share this location with any visitors that I have visiting campus, it's always the pivotal moment of anybody who comes here because they take a look at the shores of Lake Superior. And the first question they ask, particularly if they're looking out my window, is how do you get any work done?
Exactly.
Anyway, so as you can see, based on my camera angle here, the window is behind me, and I did that purposely because otherwise I would not have any, or would not have the opportunity to do any work because I would stare off into like Superior all the time. And
Right.
it's a great um, um, scenery, especially when we have students going on our research boat that collect samples from Lake Superior so they can study in our analyzer here as well. And there's often times where I would take a peek through the binoculars just to watch our students because oftentimes our boat's not big enough to host a number of people. So I stay back, but it's fascinating to watch the students conduct research, but also just to watch the freighters that come by every day. And you get to see, the tour, the routes that they take. And after all, you start learning about the freighters, the time
Yeah.
that also, oh, that's very interesting.
What
The
they're
key thing that,
hauling. Yeah,
yeah,
all that stuff. All that stuff. Yeah.
the key,
Pinch yourself, because not nobody, I would say, gets to have that view. And in July, I'm sure it's just especially wonderful. So we're kind of in that sweet spot of July. You're celebrating a record-breaking graduating class, I believe.
we
Let's
are.
celebrate that.
So this year was fantastic as far as the number of students who received their credential this academic year. And it's been the culmination of the work of my team, our success center, our resources, that provide everything that our students need to be successful. Just to paint a little picture,
Yeah,
most of our first generation students, single parents, parents who are working full time jobs, and oftentimes, are just trying to squeeze in any available time so that they can take courses. And living in a rural area, a lot of folks don't come from or have good financial standing. So we want to make sure that we support them holistically so that way they can uh, accomplish their academic goals. But most importantly, it's the team that provides the support, and that really shows through the consistent enrollment over the last 5 years. Every semester, we build upon our enrollment numbers by 20%. And this year, this fall, we're actually um, um, we're expecting probably about 930 to 940 students this semester. And over 5 years ago, I set the goal of 1,000 students per semester. And when I set that goal, we only had 340 some odd students on
that's a
campus.
stretch. Right there is a stretch. That's what they call a BHAG, right? A
Exactly.
big, hairy, audacious Dr.
Exactly.
Goodell. Wow.
Well, most important part is taking a slow approach to it to build the infrastructure that's behind the numbers to ensure that we can sustain this growth. And it's been a not only challenging effort, but it's also been a rewarding effort, and that shows by the largest graduation that we ever hosted this past May, to where we awarded 39 bachelor's degrees. And then we awarded, I think, overall 122 credentials, which includes associate degrees, certificates of completions, and certificates. But the key moment for me and for my team is that watching the smiles on the
Yeah,
students and the
yeah.
smiles on the families that they celebrated their accomplishments.
So good, so good, and it comes from a pretty special place, I would imagine, as not only look at your Excel spreadsheet to go, "Look, our metrics are growing." You know the students, you know the community, you know your own story, Dr. Bedell, of having been a student there, representing probably much of the demographic that you're seeing today of your students, right? And then coming back, I don't know how many years later as the president, talk about the smiles not only on the graduate's face, but the smile that must be on your face, sir.
Oh yeah, yeah. So I graduated from Bay Mills Community College in 1998, and that was in an Associates of Applied Science and Computer Information Systems. But what really drew me to BMCC is that being a military brat, I did not have the opportunity to grow up in my community here. So I made a decision to come up here to visit family about maybe 33, 34 years ago now. I never left because
Never left.
I fell in love with the place. And Bay Mills Community College gave me the opportunity to learn about my culture because they integrate the Anishinaabe culture into everything that is instilled at BMCC, from classes to ceremonies that are held on campus to events that are held on campus to celebrate our culture. That really brought it all in for me. And it was at that time, and I'm going to go back to a former English teacher of mine. She had us do an assignment that stated why we wanted to earn a college degree. And she brought this back to me when I came back as a faculty member. She says, you were the only student in that course that did not refer to money. Said you were the only student that said that you wanted to do something great for your community. And
Wow.
she actually gave that paper back to me. And I was like, wow,
She still had it.
she still had it, and yeah, she gave me a copy of it, and so I keep that. And I have a, I think everybody has one, a little junk drawer. I don't call it junk drawer, but I call it my valued treasure. So I have that
Oh.
in there, and I plan on hanging on to that for a long time because I think I really defined my goal in life at that time.
Mm. I don't know if we've had that rich of a story ever shared on the show. I hope for those listening that you go back and just, do a bit of a replay there. So the Anishinaabe, that's the language, correct?
Correct.
So the Anishinaabe is the language, and from what I understand, just from having led a school system kind of up in that region, every celebration of life that we have, there's a deterioration of the language and the heritage, and how important it is for communities and regions to come together and systems to protect that language. So, uh, tell us a little bit about just this recent articulation agreement that you've had with Northern Michigan University that has not been a single year goal. You've been at this for a while, but you're seeing an amazing fruit that has been generated from that partnership.
Yeah, so my team and I, we traveled to North Michigan University a couple of weeks ago, which is approximately, it's in Marquette, Michigan, which is about 2.5 hours away from us, to really celebrate the accomplishment of a project that was in the works for about 6 or 7 years, which predates me as president. But it's always important for Bay Mills Community College and any tribal college to find ways to help preserve our culture, our traditions, and our languages. And when you have two great institutions in the eastern or in the Upper Peninsula of Michigan, it makes sense for us to bring our expertise together and bring our teams together to accomplish something that is going to help keep the language alive. So our team traveled to Northern Michigan University to finalize an articulation agreement that will allow our students to complete our program here in the Anishinaabe language, transfer to Northern Michigan University and complete their program. But once they complete that program, they will be certified to teach Ojibwe or Anishinaabe in public school systems, which has been ratified by the Michigan Department of Education because our teams work closely with the MDE to ensure that this credential will be able to provide certified teachers in public school systems so that way they can
So good.
teach our language and ensure that our language will continue to remain in our communities.
So good. So good. There was a season of time where I tried to create um, an immersion uh, school for elementary students, actually preschool, starting in preschool with the Ojibwe culture and the Anishinaabe language. The hardest thing, it wasn't programming, it was finding personnel. It
Correct.
was finding, and it took years to actually find the right person. It was just one person that helped to create the program. So you are doing that, 10x for other regions and communities, and I can't tell you how much I just appreciate, and may all the favor be poured upon that program and these wonderful humans that are doing the good work. I mean, one question that I'd like to ask, because some would say, well, you're protecting a language and restoring a language and the heritage in this digitized economy. How have you been thinking about a language rooted in the Anishinaabe identity, but actually modernized in today's digital economy? How is that working?
That's a really great question. And first and foremost, I will say, it's really hard to take a language that's always been verbal and then translate it into a written form, but to also ensure that the translations are correct as it's being taught and being introduced to the digital tools that we have today. So it takes a number of experts to pull together our first language speakers to who are willing to share the language, be recorded, and at the same time taking that recording and translating it into something that's going to really, I guess you could say, capture the interest of our youth.
Mm.
Because, in today's day and world, our youth are really connected to digital devices such as their phones, iPads, tablets, or whatever they have.
It
And
doesn't
finding a
matter how rural you are, right? Dwayne, it doesn't matter. Of the students, they all have them.
Exactly. And if you can find a way that's going to capture their attention and allow them to interact on their devices, I think that's one of the tools that we can use to expose Anishinaabe to our youth or even adults who are just learning as well, because it's the consistency here in the pronunciations, here and the meanings behind the words, but more importantly, just immersing yourself into that dialogue, I think is what's going to help carry our language forward and help instill our language in our communities.
I haven't seen it yet on Babbel or Duolingo, but maybe it's out there. Maybe it's out there.
So there's actually a Ojibwe nation, and I don't remember which nation it comes from, but they have partnered with Rosetta Stone, and
Okay.
there is an application out there that is specifically for the Ojibwe language. We have not had the opportunity to explore it yet, but I think as they travel to college, we may be able to sign on to that and utilize one of the licenses that they have for educational purposes. So that's something that I had taken a look at, and hopefully we'll get there soon.
Well, no doubt under your leadership, you're going to see some more innovation of that heritage development. As you might turn 180 and go look over that lake again and think, the summertime offers time for reflection and space for visioning. As you look at that landscape of tribal education, what is exciting you most about where Bay Mills is heading?
Oh, there's a lot that excites me about Bay Mills, but I'll refer to the community first, the Bay Mills Indian community. Just watching the economic growth that's happening here, with the current leadership that is here in the community, um, they understand the importance of raising their community to become the future leaders and empowering our future leaders to be able to be involved in some of the decisions that are taking place in our community. At Bay Mills Community College, I practice the same. I believe in that mentorship to where I kind of home grow
Hmm.
our team here. In fact, I think probably it's safe to say about 85 to 90% of my team here are BMCC alumni, and they are members of our community as well. And there are times, where we take a look at job descriptions and position descriptions and say, I know the perfect person that is going to be able to fit this because they have the mentality for it. Maybe they're short on the education side of it, but we can work with that and teach them and ensure that they are given the resources to complete their education, similar to what happened to me when I started here, um, as well. And just being able to provide that mentorship, but most importantly, get out of the way. You hire the experts. Tell them, ensure that they know what the culture is here at BMCC, and let them thrive. Let their wings spread, and let the creativity take place. And that's been the biggest thing that I've been proud of most here,
Yeah.
as well. It's just um, working on campaigns like that, and the new campaign that I'm actually and planning to launch this fall when everybody comes back, our faculty and some of our part-time workers, is to launch a program that is a mentorship program for my position. I
Hmm.
always put in the uh, uh, plan, the backup plan, in case I'll put it in case I hit the lottery and decided I wanted to go do something else or something like that. I want to ensure that our internal team has the knowledge on what it takes to serve as a president of an institution, but also to build that confidence. And hey, maybe I have someone who is just starting here at BMCC and they have this 10-year plan that they want to be president of BMCC.
Wow.
I will do my best to make that happen for them.
That's part of the culture there. I mean, we talk about culture and how oftentimes that gets into kind of an ethnic culture, but there's also that culture that defines that core value of you have amazing talent and there's nothing, no ceiling here of your potential. And we want to make sure that we create the conditions for you to grow and go wherever you want. That is not talent hoarding that a lot of superintendents and college presidents that I work with don't want to lose. They don't want to lose their best talent. And they do everything they can. No, it's talent multiplication. And that's what the most secure and humble and smart and healthy leaders are doing all the time, saying, "Hey, if you leave here, you're going to go multiply everything that you've learned." And that's my job. That's my role. That warms my heart big time. Let's just one last quick question. So for your colleagues out there who might be spending a chunk of their summer kind of juggling multiple priorities, who's not, right? And figuring out new processes because we must, right? Trying to preserve both culture but also the bottom line, right? Of just that bottom line of operations, and preparing their students for success. What wisdom would you share? Any summer survival tips for somebody out there saying, I might get a day or two where I'm not thinking about the campus, but other than that, I'm grinding big time right now.
First, I would encourage team members to really try to separate themselves from campus because I am a
Mhm.
strong believer that you need time for yourself and your families, and that work is should always be not the priority. I understand that our students are our priority, and we want to provide the best services, and we want to be our best person for our students. But at the same time, in order to be that best person, you need to disconnect for a little bit, clear your mind. Maybe grab a fishing pole, go fishing, go hiking, go camping. My wife finally accepted the fact that I love golfing, and she accompanies me on my golf outings now, and we both have fun. Just things like that to clear your mind. But at the same time, as you prepare to come back and engage our students, just come with your best self, be
Mm.
re-energized, use that short break that you had because time flies.
Yeah.
I mean, it's already amazed that we're mid July already, and it seemed like the summer just started. But come back refreshed, re-energized, and be prepared to share the fantastic ideas, the fantastic thoughts that you've had with your teammates, and to see if we can incorporate that to make sure that our students thrive.
Yes, it's the difference. I've heard it said the difference between resting from work and working from rest.
Correct.
Oh, there's such a large chasm, I would say, that differentiates those two. So, Dr. Bedell, I want to thank you for showing up today and showing us what effective leadership. I'm so proud of the numbers that you're generating. I'm so proud of the tradition that you're protecting. All of that comes from authentic relationships that you're building. From comes from a pride in the community that you came from. That it just warms my heart to know that that is the work that you, I can tell, get to do. Don't have to do. You get to do that. And if you won the lottery, I'm predicting that you're going to continue doing. You might just buy yourself some new golf clubs and maybe a bigger boat. But other than that, you're nothing's going to change. But hey, any final thoughts before we go today?
You know, um, I would just say take the time to enjoy life, explore the things that you're passionate about,
Yeah.
and just for me, it's family. Always think about your family, and then as far as institutional work goes, always keep the student at the forefront of any decision that you make. And that's my piece of advice for anybody who wants to get into leadership.
That's a solid. That is a solid. This has been the show reminding you that every college, they're not just overcoming challenges, they're about celebrating the incredible strengths, in this case, of the Indigenous community, and ensuring that every student knows that their culture is their superpower. Until next time, let's keep building bridges and breaking barriers, friends. Peace and press on. Thank you again, Dr. Bedell.
All right, thank you. It was my pleasure.